Hello, lovely people. You haven't heard from me in a while. That's because I'm currently on holidays, as you can see. I'm currently in sunny Portugal, the country where I come from, and we are currently heading to the mountains to do some twisties. Recording this just to update you guys a little bit and also to talk a little bit about this bike that I'm riding here today. That is a rental because I haven't got a bike in Portugal at the moment. I'm thinking about if I should actually buy one or not, because well, it's gonna be basically not used for quite a long period of time, so I'm only gonna use it when I'm on holidays. You know, I'm not gonna use it for that long, so it's kind of a big investment for something that I'm not gonna be using. But every time I come, I try to rent one, and it's quite expensive, so I might end up getting one and just get done with it. The bike that I'm riding at the moment is a BMW GS 700F. In front of me there's a CB 500F. Right ahead there's a Kawasaki Ninja 250R, and behind me is a heavily modified Honda Hornet. So we're gonna go and try to have some fun without, you know, without putting our lives in danger and crashing, hopefully. On my way there, I will be talking about the bike a little bit. See, this is the things that you see in Portugal. They're waiting on the crosswalk with a freaking electric scooter. Woo, this bike looks like you're riding on the 3rd floor. And I'm a short guy, so it doesn't help that much. But actually, the ground clearance on this one is very good for rough terrains. And even for me, that I'm a short guy, I can actually reach the floor, the road, better than I do on my Hornet, which is, I don't know how they do it. Probably the seat is less wide, and it's probably less foamy on there, so it's easier for me to actually reach the floor. I usually don't talk too much about numbers when I'm riding bikes, because I really don't care about numbers, but I care about how the bike rides and, you know, how I feel when I'm on the bike. Anyway, as you know, this is a 700cc bike. I think it has around 70 horsepower. Not the same as the Hornet, but it's plenty horsepower for the use that I give it, and probably most people give it. It has quite a lot of torque. Look, the bike simply flies. It is quite an easy bike to ride in the city. It's not the best because it's too tall, and I actually find it to be too agile for traffic, because it's a tall bike to go in between cars and this and that, but that's maybe because I'm not very much used to it. But I love the gearbox in this one. The gears go in so smoothly. It almost looks like we have quick shift in this, but we don't. And I still use the clutch. It's really, really nice to drive. So you can usually ride in 1st or 2nd gear, but it's still comfortable in 4th gear. For example, I can ride in 2nd gear 60 kilometers per hour, but I'm currently going in 4th gear doing 60 kilometers an hour, and it's still a great bike, and it still has that, you know, that torque that you can use. So I'm quite happy with this one. Top speed wise and how fast it gets there, it's no Hornet. Guys, obviously I'm gonna compare it to the Hornet because it's my bike, so I can't compare it to anything else at the moment. But when comparing to the Hornet, it's not the same, obviously. It's not as fast and this and that, but it gets you there. It will get you there, and you won't have any issues with it saying, oh, I don't want to go so fast. The bike will just go, and it will just fly. When it comes to comfort on this one, riding position, for your knees, for your body, you're going straight up, you know. I mean, it's a trail bike, so the riding position is quite good. But when comparing to the Hornet, there's not a big difference. I'll probably go a little bit more like this on the Hornet, but it's nothing that you're gonna notice. Seat wise, comfort is the same as the Hornet, unfortunately. So it's not the comfiest of seats for a long journey. At least not for the rider. Let me wait. At least not for the rider. For the pillion, well, my girlfriend loves it. When compared to the Hornet, she really likes it. Okay, here comes the Hornet. She really likes it. She finds it very comfortable. For me, well, this or the Hornet, it's kind of the same. Even though when you get in the highway, obviously with a tall windscreen, it's nothing to do with the Hornet. It's a lot better. Even though the screen actually directs a bit of the wind towards your helmet, but it takes all that pressure off your chest and neck, so it's quite good. This bike already comes with a dynamic pack, if I'm not wrong. I think it's called a dynamic pack. So it comes with heated grips, onboard computer, tall screen and luggage, if I'm not wrong. This bike is absolutely quiet, which I totally hate. So the reason why I rented this bike and not something else, they had a XJ6, the Yamaha, which is kind of more or less close to the Hornet. It used to be its competition. Now they don't make it anymore, so the MT-07 is more or less the Hornet's competition, but they don't make the Hornet anymore, so it doesn't really matter. So they had this one, NC750X, and this and that. So I've rode the 750X before, the Honda one, and I really love the bike. Very short geared. It does more or less 150 comfortably, but you know, it's not the Canon, it's not the airplane with two wheels. It is a fun, okay bike, and that's the one I wanted. Unfortunately, it wasn't available, so they only had the BMW there, and I'm very happy that they only had the BMW there. It's a bit torquier, it has more power than the NC, and I had never driven one before, so it was and it is a pleasant surprise. And I can't put any defects on this bike except for one: the neutral. It's just ridiculous how many times this bike does not go into neutral. It just doesn't want to go into neutral, and you need to switch it off and then put neutral, because it's not gonna go. No matter what you try, it keeps jumping from second to first. At some point it even goes into neutral without any dashboard info, and this bike has the info. It has the light and it has the neutral letter, the N letter, telling you that the bike is on neutral. And sometimes it goes into neutral when you're stopping, obviously, because I'm trying to put it into neutral, and it doesn't even pop up with the light or with the letter telling me it's a neutral. It just goes white. The dashboard just goes white on that area, and I don't know why that happens, but I think I read somewhere it's kind of chronicle on BMW, the way neutrals just are too stubborn to get in. Not sure if it's BMW chronic problem or not, or if it's just like that, but it is kind of a how do you say it? I find it to be kind of an issue when I want to stop in traffic quite fast and to go quite fast, and the bike just doesn't go into neutral. It just sits there, so I need to see the things that you see in Portugal. It's electric, it's fine. You don't need a driving license because it's electric. Just take 10 kids in there and that's fine. Little things of Portugal. Look at this. Honestly. Anyway, that's the only issue that I found on this bike. Other than that, the bike is comfortable to ride. Suspension is quite good. I was talking about seat comfort and riding position. It's not very different from the Hornet, and it's not. But when it comes to potholes and little bumps on the road and this and that, the bike just looks like it's on the clouds. It's very smooth bike. Engine wise, it vibrates a little bit too much, but it has 2 cylinders, so there's not much to say about that. It is what it is, and 2 cylinders always vibrate more than 4. Hornet is quite smooth in there, and this one, after 3,000-4,000, it goes a bit mental with vibration, but it is quite normal with a 2-cylinder bike. Other than that, bike is just, for what it is, it's just nice. I find it to be a bit too expensive. I think it costs about 9,600 euros when the NC750X costs about, I think, 8,000 something, and it has a huge advantage when you compare both of them. The NC750X has a top case under here, so you can actually fit a helmet in here. I don't know what BMW did with this bike, but the tank is actually in the back of the bike. The same thing happens in the NC750X, but Honda decided to put the tank in the back because they needed the space in the front for the helmet. Well, BMW doesn't have any storage compartment in the front, and the space under the seat is also quite limited. So I don't know what else BMW puts in here to make it to fill up that gap that Honda managed to find. But well, there are different brands, they all have their own thing going on, so not much we can say about that, to be honest with you. If this is your type of bike and you're looking for easy to ride, enough power bike, then this is probably one of the best choices that you'll have on the market. This is the 2016 model. 2017 has a couple more bits and bobs here and there, LED lights and this and that, but you can probably find a used one for a good price. Oh, I forgot to mention, this also has rain mode, which for a less experienced person, or even for a very experienced person, but you know, you don't want to risk it, you put this into rain mode and you can do this while you're riding. Okay, so you can grab it, you press, it's not very nice to do it while riding actually, but you can press there for some time and rain mode is going to pop up, and then when you clutch in, it changes. And then when you clutch in, it changes modes. So it makes the bike more tame, less power goes to the wheel, it makes it less risky to ride in the rain, which is always good, you know. It's always a good thing to make it less powerful to ride in the rain. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm still a bit scared of doing turns in this one, doing bends, because the bike feels so tall, and the tires, I find them to be, you know, BMW did it for a reason. I mean, they know this better than me, but I find the tires to be too thin for such a tall bike. So I'd rather have a wider tire, both in the front and the back, but that's maybe because I'm not used to this type of bike and I'm a bit scared of actually tail sliding on a turn. And tail sliding is the least of my concerns, because if I lose my front, then that's it, I'm screwed. Also, this bike is quite economical for the amount of power that it offers. I'm currently doing about, well, I can actually tell you, currently doing, no, this is the wrong one, 4.7 liters every 100 kilometers. And I'm not treating this bike in probably the normal way. So obviously I don't have a bike here, so I'm trying to enjoy the bike as much as I can. So I'm kind of pushing it a bit, you know, kind of going hard on the throttle here and there, and you know, I'm just taking advantage of what I have. So these consumptions for the type of driving, the type of riding that I'm doing, they're absolutely amazing. The Hornet will probably do double in this, probably about 8 liters every 100 kilometers. It's not something that you need to take into account normally in the UK because of the price of petrol, which is quite low compared to the money that we make. But in Portugal, when 1 liter costs you 150, it's something that you actually need to think about. Something that you really, really need to think about when you're buying a bike. Okay, so we're getting there. I'm gonna switch this off and change the setup.